Join me now is Veer Das. Obviously, doesn't need an introduction. A very successful stand-up comedian. He's one of the important people when it comes to comedy circuit in India. Obviously known for movies and his tours, and he is going to be touring. And we have a very happy Veer Das with us. Veer, thank you so much for joining us. First things first. How have been the reviews of the film? I know the film was released in January, and people were still coming out of the Dhurandhar blur. But
Yeah.
what have people told you about the film?
It's gotten good reviews. We did not expect it to get good reviews, simply because
Ah,
it's a very specific kind of a silly film. It's unapologetically doubling down on every joke, but we got good reviews. One from you guys too. So it was kind of nice to get that. I think the audience that it was made for has really appreciated the film, and now it begins its journey to find people online and all of that stuff. So, yeah.
that's interesting. Do we have a date yet when it's going to be online?
We do have a date. I just can't tell you what the date is, but we
Okay.
have a date.
All right, cool. So tell us about this new tour you're kicking off. I mean, you obviously, have had sold out crowds when you come to the US. You have a very niche following, and somebody, who's also hosted the International Emmy Award. So you have a very interesting following worldwide. Tell us about this tour and what is the theme that you're hitting when you start this tour again in February?
Well, we start February 27th at the Chicago Theater, which is, a slightly large room, so no pressure. But, the show's called Hey Stranger, and I kind of look back at life and said, oh my God, I've spent 85% of my life in rooms with people I don't know. It's a very
Uh-huh.
weird life, if you actually think about
Uh-huh.
it. It's the opposite of a normal human life. But I think there's a powerful connection that you can have with people that are going to meet each other again, because you actually have no stakes, you have complete others' lives. And so the tour is an ode to the stranger. I'm hoping that a group of strangers will come into this room, and I'm going to do a tour that takes you across the world, but hopefully also takes you across movies as well. Movies are a central theme of the show, and hopefully you will find your own hero's journey. The mission of the show is you come to hear my story, but hopefully at the end of it, you feel like I told your story.
That's impressive. Now, you're again, we've obviously watched your work from early 2000s up until now. Your shows have
Hmm.
also have, interesting change in terms of the humor that you bring to your show. Would you say now you're in a space where you've, kind of discovered who you are as a person? Every comic does that over the years. I remember George Carlin had said that, when he was probably in his 40s. It is like, now I know exactly, who I am, what I'm trying to do, and explore more. But at the same time, he kept his theme pretty much about people and understanding life. Are you at a point where you can now say that, look, now it's going to be building on towards understanding lives, people, and just spreading awareness through your humor?
I think, look, I may not know who I am just yet. I'm still growing, but I definitely know what I'm not. And I definitely know, the kind of comedy I don't want to do anymore, which is, I think my shows are reasonably thematic, and my shows are storytelling shows, and I want the show that you feel to feel like a movie. I want it to have a first act, second act, third act. I want there to be some plateaus, some uncomfortable moments, some silences, some very silly stories, and then some profound stories as well. In terms of craft, I've done my 10,000 hours, so I know how to be on a stage. I know how to be myself on a stage. That's a big struggle for any comic, is just learning to chill on a stage and learning how to be yourself. I also think I've kind of found my people, and my people have kind of found me. So
Mhm.
strangely enough, you would think that that would put you in a relaxing position. Ki mere log mil gaye, we know each other, and now we can chill. It's actually the opposite. But because you found your people and because you've now found yourself, the pressure to surprise and the pressure to not do what you did last time is now triple, because people are coming again and again and again to see you. So I'm just trying to outdo what I did last, you know?
And how does your writing process look like, Veer? And this is a very interesting question because I know some people use a file system, the comics, they'll idea comes to the mind, they'll write it down and then they build on it. Is that something you still do, or are you like completely, all right, let me just go and get into writing mode and then come up with something?
I write 2 hours a day. I write 2 hours a day every single day. Usually at about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's when I get my flow state. So I will
Uh-huh.
come into my study and not say anything to the world for the first 2 hours of the day. And I'll write something. It may not always be stand up. It may be the movie I'm directing. It may be some music. It may be something else. But I'm essentially useless after 9:30 a.m. My best work is between 6:30 and 8:30 a.m. And uske baad I just get less and less and less creative through the course of the day. But I try and write every single day.
And in the world that we live in, especially in the digital age, there's so much content out there. How's the pressure of coming up with something fresh every time? Like not only in terms of like obviously the shows, you're also doing movies and all that. How as a performer, as an artist, as an actor, how do you deal with that pressure?
I'm just trying to do whatever I wake up dreaming about. In India, the last show that I did was Mindful, and it was this big world tour. And now my show is called Sounds of India, which is the India show, which is about
Mhm.
marrying technology and comedy. Hey Stranger is a show that is very much hopefully headed towards Broadway and the West End at some point. So it is very much designed with the global gaze and saying if you were in town in DC from Norway or from Noida, if you stumbled into the Warner Theater, if you stumbled into Chicago Theater, could you still enjoy the show? So I'm kind of touring two very different shows right now. One is a very Indian show and one is a very global show. And then at some point I'll swap the shows.
Interesting. And I don't know how many people, who can say that they can do and perform well. Hey Stranger, the name of the show this time around. Tell us about some of those strangers you've met, interesting ones, and the most disappointing ones, if you can.
I think it will take you across the world, everything from people who pointed guns at me in Alabama to professors who changed my life in Illinois to teachers in Delhi Public School, Noida to um, politicians to actors to some Bollywood stories to everything. It really is a show that takes you across the world over a span of 15 years. So yeah.
Don't we strangers that pointed guns at you in Alabama? Well, that hasn't changed,
Yes.
though, obviously. Um,
Well, yeah.
just out of curiosity, really, the America that you came to back in the day, and,
Mhm.
and the way we are right now, and not trying to get political there, but just out of curiosity, your observations of things that have changed, bad, good, ugly, anything that you can talk about?
I mean, there's a theme in the show. There's about 8 minutes on racism versus ignorance.
Hmm.
I think when I came to America a few years after 9/11, there was ignorance. You didn't know that much about the world.
Hmm.
But I always think that ignorance is racism without this, you know, and racism without agenda. It's just innocent. And so I don't think America is ignorant anymore. I think it's taken some very specific turns in other directions.
You obviously have had a very interesting observation on a lot of things, including how India has changed, how the world has changed, in your terms
Hmm.
of observing what you have, observe what you have, and meeting the people that you have, in just and a very I probably say a philosophical question here. What is your general take on how the last 2 decades have been, and where are we going in the future in terms of how there's talk about AI, there's talk about, oh, we probably would have people would not have jobs in the future. So when you meet people across, I mean, what are some of the things that you've picked up on, and that you think could be something that we should all look forward to in terms of the reality that will hit us in coming years?
I think, look, I feel reasonably secure as an artist simply because AI is all about success. AI is about perfection, and art is about failure, and art is about imperfection. So I don't feel like my job will ever be threatened by AI because AI
Mhm.
has never received rejection from 200 girls and you know been the loser in school. I have. Uh, will AI replace your admin? Maybe AI will replace your admin. Do I sometimes feel like I sometimes think that as well? So I don't quite know. I do know we need to adopt it. I don't want to be, people freaked out when the printing press also showed up. You know what I mean?
That's true.
People freaked out when laser discs showed up. People freaked out when DVD showed up. Arey video cassette ka kya hoga? You don't want to be
Hmm.
that guy. AI has
Hmm.
showed up. It is part of our life, and you need to adopt it into your life. How
Hmm.
useful it's going to be, I don't quite know just yet. Yeah, I don't think AI is going to shut down the world. I think Indian people, we have an inherent training कि we know कि बिजली जा सकती है at any point. मतलब you can unplug things. So
Uh-huh.
I think if AI is ever a real problem, we will figure out how to unplug AI, or at least India will figure out how to unplug AI.
India, well, there's a
Yeah,
big AI summit in India happening next week. All the big CEOs are going to be in India, and it's a big topic. It will be a big topic next week.
yeah.
Acha, with Bollywood, has Bollywood started adopting to AI at all? Have those conversations started about, oh, we could run this through AI, have certain things pan out for us. Let's just run it through AI and see what it tells us.
I mean, look, the last Bollywood movie that I made was shot in 28 days. It's a really small movie. It's effectively an indie movie. You know what I mean? So we're definitely not adopting AI. I do
Uh-huh.
think it helps sometimes in pre-visualization of the movie,
Uh-huh.
where it's storyboarding of the movie and maybe putting together some looks and all of that stuff, etc., etc. So if I want to say, take my face and put a space warrior's body on, you can visualize things. The
Okay.
quality of AI products and content, I don't think uh, is being adopted at a heavy level yet. Having said that, I do think that AI will reduce barriers to entry for young filmmakers. Your
Hmm.
short film that you make in film school could now have a decent score, yeah, and it could have some decent animation. And so I do think it will lead to more creativity, especially amongst younger, newer filmmakers.
Okay. And before I let you go, this is a fan question because I loved and absolutely loved film Go Goa Gone. There have been talks about there
Nice.
could be a sequel to it. Are you working? Is anybody working on Go Goa Gone? Because we would really, that was one of the films I was like, I went to the movie theater and I just kept out. I was laughing throughout the film. Is there anything that you can tell us about that?
Well, listen, man, everybody who loved Go Goa Gone as a college kid is 35 now. You know what I mean? So,
Take the journey
it's
forward, right? Take the journey forward.
yeah. So every year there is some news article that comes out saying they are working on Go Goa Gone 2. I know that were it to happen, we would all show up. I just think if it happens, it needs to happen pretty soon, man. Because otherwise, I think our kids will be showing up in the sequel. So we'll see.
It's not a bad idea too.
Yeah, yeah.
Before I let you go again here, we the tour starts. You said February. It starts from Chicago. Uh,
February 27th, Chicago Theater, and then 21 cities in the US.
21 cities in the US. What would you tell the audience this time around to come and watch the show? I know you have a huge following, but still, if there's a two-minute pitch or 90-second pitch, what's the pitch?
The pitch is this: every single show that you see about a comedian is usually about the comedian. I unapologetically wrote a show about you, about your immigrant journey, about what it feels like to be in a new land, about what it feels like to leave your land behind, about what it feels like to have people not understand your culture, and what it feels like to strongly hold on to your culture when you leave your culture and travel abroad. So the show's about you this time, and I hope you'll feel seen and like your story is told at the end of
And that's a
the
very
show.
important conversation you need in these times, especially when it comes to America. We thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you. I will see you in person in March
Yeah.
when you come to DC. Thank you so much and good luck.